Welcome to Draw the Day Creative Videos. I'm Alex and I'm a glass artist. I also work as an Arts for Wellbeing artist for Cartwheel Arts. I've made this video so that you can follow along and I'll show you what materials you'll need. Today's activity is all about having fun. So grab some materials and let's work together. Today we're going to be doing curly paper using a technique called quilling. For this, you're going to need a sheet of card or white paper. You're going to need lots of strips of coloured paper, some glue, Pritt stick and preferably PVA, some scissors and something to wind your paper round, such as a pencil, old paintbrush or a thin stick. Don't forget, when you're working with scissors, always ask an adult to help. And if you're using glue, don't forget to cover up your table. So the first thing you're going to need for making your curly paper or quilling art is a stick. So here I'm using a sgraffito stick, but you could always use an old paintbrush, a pencil, a pen, a stick from the garden, anything you can find lying around, as long as it's relatively thin and round. So the first part of the flower we're going to create today is the centre. So here I'm going to create a yellow centre. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to hold your piece of paper on your stick like this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it round your stick. So try and hold it nice and still and then begin to wrap your paper round your stick like this. As it starts to build up, it shouldn't move too much. There we go, just keep wrapping it round on top of itself. And keep wrapping till you have a spiral shape. Then let it go a little bit and just slide it off. And it should look something like this. What you can do then, loosen it up a little bit and we'll use a little bit of Pritt stick, or you could use some PVA glue just to stick the end down. So here we'll just put a little bit of glue on the end and we're going to stick it down like this. Okay, so that's going to form the centre of our flower. Okay, so we'll just place that there for now. We're not going to glue anything onto our card for now until we know we're happy with it. So the next thing we're going to need to do is to create some petals for our flower. So you can use any colour for your petals. You're going to need lots and lots of these strips of paper. Now if you don't have strips of paper pre-cut, just cut up some regular coloured paper into lots of long thin strips like this. Don't forget, when you're using scissors, always get an adult to help. So for my petals on this flower, I think we'll use blue. So I think we're going to have a nice blue flower this time. So I'm going to start wrapping. Again, I'm going to wrap my paper round my little tool here. Now some people use a specialist quilling tool, but that's not necessary. You can use anything you have whilst you're starting out. Have a look online if you can. Have a look at other people's examples of quilling work. Some people do some fantastic things with paper. Okay, so here's our first petal. Now at the minute it looks quite circular and not much like a petal. But what we're going to do is we're going to glue the end down like this. Let it unspiral a little bit, but not too much. Glue it down. So you should have something that looks a bit like this. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pinch one end of it. Can you see? So we should have a pinched shape, a bit like this. Then what we're going to do is we'll place that down and that's our first petal. Now we just keep doing that. So I'm going to do a few more of those because we need to fill around the centre of our flower. You can use the technique to create other images. It doesn't just have to be flowers. You could create pictures of people, create pictures of animals, different landscapes, anything that you like. Once you've got the technique, you can adapt it and use it in so many different ways. Again, we'll just pinch the bottom so that we get a nice teardrop type shape. And we'll place that one down. If you can get them all roughly the same size, that's great. If not, don't worry. Keep rolling your paper round your stick. Don't forget, if you need to pause at any point to catch up, just press pause and then catch up whenever you're ready. Push it through. If it won't stand up, just give it a little push. Like that. There we go. Okie dokie. How's it looking? Now you could do more than one flower. So if you've got quite a big sheet of paper, you could do 3 or 4 flowers, maybe. The tighter you do the curls, the smaller your flowers are. And the looser the curls, the bigger your flowers are. There we go, so I'm just going to loosen this a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. If you don't have any coloured paper, you could always paint some white paper or colour in some paper first. Or how about using some old recycled paper, if you've got any of that lying around. Okay. Let's try a few more. You can see in my example piece, in this piece here, I've used a white background, but if you have a coloured background, that would work really well as well. Don't forget to always glue the end down, otherwise you'll find over time your beautiful picture will become unravelled, and you don't want that. There we go. It can be a little bit fiddly, this, so if you're having difficulty you can always ask an adult to help, or if you've got an older sibling that could help you out. Let's have a look. There we go. Let's glue that bit down. How's everybody getting on? Good. We love to see the pieces you created, so don't forget to share all of your work if you can. You can either share it online or you can email your work to us and we can put it in our Draw the Day online gallery. It's great to see the fantastic work people have been doing over the last few weeks. There we go. There's another spiral. Let's just loosen that one out. That one's a little bit too small, so we'll just loosen it out a little bit. There we go. Now you could use the same technique to make eye shapes or to make different shapes to form other parts of the face, such as the nose, the mouth, the ears. Just think about how you can pinch the paper and roll it in different ways. think we need one more petal on here, and that's all our petals for this one. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that's my basic flower. So what I need now is I'm going to need a stem for my flower. So for this, I'm going to take a green strip of paper, and I'm just going to start by folding it in half. So here, I've just folded it in half. I'll put a tiny bit of glue in the middle. Now you could use a single strip if you like, but I like the slightly thicker strip. So there we go. I'm going to fold up the bottom bits, which will eventually hold my leaves. And I'm going to place my stem just in there, like that. Then what I need to do is I need to create some grass. So here, I'm just going to use the paper to create a zigzag for grass. Now you could create quite a few different tight zigzags. So here I'm going to create different heights of grass by creating kind of different zigzags. Or you could do more even grass, anything you like. Alternatively, you could use lots of little strips. If you have a bit more time to spare, you could use lots of little strips. So, for instance, here I'm just using the scissors. I could cut it up like this, and I could use each little strip on its side to create individual blades of grass. So here I could create pieces like this, and just use a little bit of glue to hold them in place. But for today, I'm just going to do a few different strips, zigzags instead. I think we'll just do a few different V shapes. So here I'm just going to cut a few different V shapes to create my grass. Here we go. As you can see in this piece, I used one long zigzag. Here I'm actually cutting my zigzag up to create a more natural form of grass. You can see we've got different lengths of grass here. I'm going to use those ones for today, so we'll just do a few more zigzags. Just concertina your paper to create your zigzag shapes, and cut every other piece so you get a nice V like this. You also use these to make nice birds for the sky as well. So we've got some little V shapes here. Do one there. Do one here, and we'll have a little blade of grass, I think, here. And I think we might need a few more, so we'll just fold this one like this. There we go. I think that should be enough just for our piece, but you can go all the way to the end and decorate the whole thing if you want. So here you can see we've got some blades of grass. Now what we need is the leaves for the flower, okay? So for this, again, you're going to be spiraling your paper. So start off by doing a spiral. And this time, once you've glued your spiral together, instead of just pinching one end, what we're going to do is we're going to pinch both ends like this. Okay? So you'll get a leaf shape. So here I'm just going to move this back into place, and we've got a nice leaf shape. And we'll do another one. Now these make great eye shapes as well, so if you're doing a face, you could use these to create eyes. There we go. Have it nice and loose, don't have it too tight because otherwise you'll get really tiny leaves. Let's have some nice big leaves. There we go. Again, we'll spiral that out. We're going to just pinch at either side like this so we get a nice leaf shape. Okay, so we've got our 2 leaves, we've got our grass, we've got our flower. Now the next thing we're going to need is a sun for the sky. So for this, what we're going to do is we're going to create our spiral to start off with. But we don't want a really small sun. We want a nice big sun. So once our spiral is ready, instead of gluing it straight away, we're going to open it up a little bit. So here, let's just open up our spiral. You can see we're just opening it up like this. Keep pulling it till it's a bit bigger and a bit bigger, and you should end up with something more like this. Then we're going to add a bit of glue to the end and glue it together. So here you've got a more open spiral for your sun. I think we'll just place this in this corner like this. Okay, so for me, I think this is ready to glue. But if you want to carry on, we could create birds in the sky, for instance, just to show you quickly. Great way to create a bird. Just fold your piece of paper in half like this. Flick the wings over like this. And you have a bird. Okay, so you can place a nice little bird in the sky. Now once you're happy with your design, you've got plenty of time to rearrange it. But then we need to glue it down. So for this, I'm using PVA, but any other strong glue would work. Don't forget to get an adult to help you. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little blob of glue on the bottom of all of these. So I'm going to start off by doing the centre, because that needs to be right first. Just glue the centre on. There we go. Then I think we'll glue the stem. So put a bit of glue along the edge of the stem here. Don't worry if it's PVA, if you get a bit too much on, it'll dry clear anyway, so don't worry about that. Then I think we'll put these leaves at the bottom. There's one. And there's 2. And then we just need to glue each of these petals. So let's just give them a little touch of glue. Okay, that's all my petals. So once you've got them glued down, just give them a good press to hold them in place. And we'll just glue the bird on. Put him up in the sky. You can always have a few birds. You don't just have to have one. You can always draw in the background as well. So I could have always drawn a few clouds maybe in the background. Or I could paint the background with some green for the hills and some blue for the sky. Just be creative as you can. Don't forget to share with us because we can't wait to see the fantastic things that you've done. There we go. That's the first few bits of grass. And now we've just got the last couple of bits of grass and then we'll be done. You're going to have to leave this to dry for a little bit once it's glued down, because it's going to take a little bit of time to set. As you can see, this piece has just come loose. If it does come loose, just add a little bit more glue and try again. There we go. Especially the grass can be a little bit fiddly. There we go. Once you've tried one, why not try and create a few different landscapes? See what you can come up with and let us know. Okay, so that's all of my pieces glued down. I'm just going to turn it round to show you. Not going to lift it up too much because it's still drying. But as you can see, here I've created a landscape piece with a giant flower. We've got a bird, a sun and some grass. I hope you've enjoyed following along with this video. And if you did, please like and share it with your family and friends. We'd love to see what you've created today. Please tag anything that you put online with @cartwheelarts and hashtag #drawtheday. Don't forget you can always share your pieces via email at admin@cartwheelarts.org.uk and we'll feature them in our Draw the Day online gallery. I hope you've had fun, and until next time, goodbye.